My name's Shirley May. I work for Manchester Library and Information Service. I also work as a freelance artist for several different organisations, and all of these organisations are actually involved in partnership working with Young Identity, which is a fairly new, maybe about 2 years old literature group in Manchester, we were based at the Moss Side Millennium Powerhouse, and we kind of do some work there and some work over at Contact Theatre. We examine all aspects of art and all aspects of living in a community that is quite troubled at the moment, and we do this by writing either short stories or poetry that could be then used as a performance piece. So that's who we are basically, is a writing group. The group is a group of young people from 13 to 19. We have about 29 young people registered to the group, and I run the group with a fellow artist who is actually on this film, and he reads a particular poem on this film in response to some of the art pieces here, and his name is Ali Gadima, and we jointly run that group on behalf of Common Word, Manchester Libraries and Apples and Snakes in in London, but we're their kind of arm in Manchester.
So what brings you down today?
Well, we were asked to respond to this exhibition at the Whitworth Art Gallery, to come and have a look at the exhibition, look at the pieces that are here, and to write about some of the examples of artwork that are on display, and also respond to the link between the transatlantic slave trade and also the growth of Manchester as an industrial city. So its links to the cotton trade, and how it in many ways was a triangular link, in that the slaves were taken from Africa, taken to the Americas. They were there to grow the cotton. The cotton was then developed and made here in Manchester, and then shipped back to Africa to sell to free Africans. So it's about the whole link between the transatlantic slave trade and Manchester in particular as a city. I believe that it's also about empire, and so it's to give the young people, the young writers, because what we did was we actually brought an elders group along as well, so that they would be able to also respond to the different pieces of artwork that are actually here on exhibition. And so it was bringing an intergenerational group together with a young writing group to talk about their response to the exhibition that the Whitworth are putting on. A lot of the young people and the elderly did not feel that it went far enough. They felt that it was a very comfortable exhibition, and that there was not many challenges in the pieces that were on display. I have to say that some of them had the comparison of the Maritime Museum, but we also have been told that the Maritime Museum is specifically for that reason, and that they have a lot more finance and money to put on that type of exhibition. A lot of the young people didn't feel like it jumped out at them, but they were able to choose certain pieces of work within the exhibition that really spoke to them, and some of the young people have responded by writing some of the poetry. As much as they didn't feel that it jumped out at them, there was a young lady called Cordesia West, who actually said that she felt that this was the beginning. Another elder said she'd never been to an art gallery before, and that is definitely a good thing, because she'll come to something else if it's advertised in the right way. We are going to go away, and we're going to take our notes that we've taken, and we're going to respond to some of the pieces of work that we've seen, and hopefully I've been told that by the museum that they're actually going to put some of those responses alongside the work. So for the remaining of the exhibition, you will see some of the responses that some of the writers have written about the exhibition, also exhibited alongside the artefacts and the artwork that's here. I just feel that you have to target the right people, so they actually need to know who which of the communities, whether it's Asian, Chinese or black, who are in positions that they can best influence people to actually come along and see these exhibitions, and to encourage communities to come into the art gallery. Some people are used to coming to an art gallery. My daughter in particular will go to any art gallery anywhere and see any exhibition if she's heard about it and come back and tell me. But it's not, people don't readily go to a library and pick up an information leaflet. I'm sure that the museum does a lot to get the information out to the general public. But as you can see, there are people that lived here for 35 years, 40 years, and have never ever been into the Whitworth Art Gallery, and I think that's tragedy. I think
And why do you think that is?
Because, I think it's about work. I think it's about not having the same sorts of leisure time. A lot of people work shifts, and in their recreation time, they want to do something with their family, and maybe they don't actually see that the art gallery is an immediate place to actually bring their young people to, and as well as, are the pieces that are being shown relevant? And that's what it's about. It's about having relevant pieces within the art gallery as well that will bring people along. I saw an exhibition about Kylie Minogue's clothing, but I can say it was a very contemporary exhibition, but it drew hundreds and hundreds of people. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have the artifacts up, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have the history up, but we need to marry the contemporary and the now with the past and mix and match them. I know that to some extent that's happened. I mean, this is my favourite piece in the exhibition because as a child I had loved the picture of the Venus coming out of this wonderful shell, and to see that it had been depicted as an African woman coming out of the shell. But what does it mean? You know, one of the things that I found out is that within this painting is a Financial Times, and this woman coming out of this painting represents the wealth that is actually in her loins, because her children were the children who were then enslaved to then produce the cotton to then make this city of Manchester a rich and prosperous place. So in many ways she's deified in this picture, but we don't see the backstory. We don't see the horrible life, the horrible lifestyle that her children would have had. But it's a piece that, because it reminded me of something that I'd seen as a child, something I used to turn to and look at and thought was beautiful, but kind of now see something else from it. And I think this is a very, very good interpretation of something that isn't so pretty, that isn't so wonderful, and that in the end, people are used often as commodities and about monetary exchange and about the stock exchange.